This question, we want to examine 200x minus 300y equals 1200. We want to identify the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the equation. So how do I find the x-intercept? Well, what you do is you let y equal 0. Because if y equals 0, if we have some kind of a graph like this, the x-intercept is here. So that's the point when y is 0. What is the x value? So if I set y equal to 0, this becomes 200x minus 300 times 0 equals 1200. We get 200x minus 0 equals 1200. 200x equals 1200. Divide by 200, 1200 divided by 200, and we get x is 6. So that is the x-intercept. Now how do we get the y-intercept? Now you know y equals mx plus b, of course. But that is also when you set x equal to 0. Notice this point here, that's the y-intercept, and the x value there is 0. So to get the y-intercept, set x equal to 0. So what we have here is we have 200x, so 200 times 0 minus 300y equals 1200. 0 minus 300y equals 1200. Negative 300y equals 1200. Divide by negative 300, and we get y is equal to negative 4. So what are those points, right? The x-intercept 6 and the y value is 0. 6, 0 is the x-intercept. The y-intercept, fine, the y value is negative 4 and the x value is 0. So we have those two intercepts. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at those 2 points and determine what the equation is going to be. So we have 6, 0 is the x-intercept. We have 0, negative 4 is the y-intercept. And we would like to determine the slope. So what do we know? What do we know about slope? Slope is rise over run. Rise is change in y over change in x. That's how we want to think about it. So if I'm looking at the picture, what do I see? From here to here, how far is it rising? What's my change in y? 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, over how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So up 4 over 6 seems to be my slope. So up 4, positive over positive 6. And the sign of the slope, notice over time it's increasing, it's going up. That's a good week on the stock market, right? If it's rising, if it's increasing, the slope is positive. So we have 4 over 6, so our slope is 2/3. That reduces. And you'll notice we said the y-intercept over here was 0, negative 4. And we can see that on the graph. The y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is at 0, negative 4. So we have slope is 2/3, we have y-intercept is negative 4. M is 2/3, B is negative 4. So our equation is y equals mx plus b. So y equals 2/3 x plus negative 4, which we're going to write as y equals 2/3 x minus 4. Now let's look at that. Let's graph it and see if that looks correct. So does that go through those 2 points? Y equals 2/3 x minus 4. It does. That's nice. But remember, that wasn't our original question. What was our original question? it was 200x minus 300y equals 1200. Let me graph that. 200x minus 300y equals 1200. This will be in a different color. This will be in red. You'll notice the red line is on top of the black line, right? The red line is on top of the black line, so they are the same. So indeed, we have converted this equation into slope-intercept form. We found the x-intercept, we found the y-intercept, and we found the slope as well as the equation of the line.